And hello, everyone. Welcome to the Power Man Podcast Special Edition tonight. We are recording our podcast on YouTube. We are recording our podcast audio version, and we are also, recording, but we're also transmitting live in our Facebook group, The Power of Man Within, for all of the gentlemen who are in there who are trying to do some great things with their lives. So here we go, and this is what we're going to do. The lighting is not an accident. There's nothing wrong with your television or your phone or anything else. It is supposed to look like this. So there's a red light going on because there's an emergency situation, gentlemen, an emergency situation right now out here in the world, and um, I need to bring some attention to it. And so hopefully the color will get everybody's attention enough to at least tune in and hear what we're talking about today. Gentlemen, I had the opportunity over the last few days to do some very powerful things. I want to share those with you and then get to the point. I will not keep you long. This will not be a long episode, I promise. But that being said, I had the opportunity to speak with a lot of men recently who have been following the podcast for a long time, who have been, I guess, fans of the podcast. Through what they've accomplished with their lives, I've had a chance to bring them on. And I had a couple of things happen today because of that that were incredibly powerful and impactful. I want to share some of those things that happened and some of the lessons that we want to talk about in our group and in our movement. The first thing was I had a man on today who has his own podcast, has his own men's movement, and came on the podcast today to talk about those things. And as soon as he got on the podcast, gave me complete credit for it. Wanted to say basically it was because of me, and he was inspired by me and the podcast and what we do, and basically said that I was some sort of hero or celebrity or something. It was incredibly gracious of him to say that. I've heard that from several people who have come on the podcast and that kind of thing, but this man was so genuine in what he was doing. The reason that I'm recounting this is because you have no idea, gentlemen, how your actions are going to impact other people. None. You have no idea. The slightest nicety, the smallest grace that you give somebody can come back tenfold. It can change their lives and you don't even know it. And so, every movement we make during the day, everything that we do during the day, everything we do with our wives, with our children, with people that we come in contact with, that smile to the person who's in the drive-through, that extra prayer you might say at night before you lay your head down to go to sleep, for those of you who sleep, they matter so much. And yet in our regular lives, these small things are the ones that we don't seem to have time for. They're the things that we say, oh, well, that's small, so it doesn't matter. Okay. And the reason that I'm coming on here today is tenfold. It impacts so many different areas of our lives. I had the privilege of being part of my brother Yusef's men's group this morning. He invites a bunch of guys on to talk about issues that are pertinent to men. I've had the absolute privilege of being invited to every one. I've only missed one since he started this project. It's very powerful, and I'm just absolutely blessed to be able to participate in it. And Yusef is his brother in Christ. He's also a brother in a men's movement and in doing his own thing to try and help men become better men tomorrow than they are today. So during that call today, we had a question that was given to the panel, and it was about legacy, and it was about leaving that legacy behind, behind you. To a man, every one of us agreed that if you impact one life with what you're doing, just one, then what you're doing is worth it. Because of the ripple effect, you have no idea how that one impact on that one singular life is going to grow and multiply and change everything. You have no idea. And as we were having that conversation, I started thinking about this, and then I met with this other man today, and of course had him on the podcast, and I was thinking about this. And tonight I was getting ready for a live, and I couldn't stop thinking about this. Gentlemen, It's really easy to get all caught up in the big things that we all need to do. We all need to get physically fit. We all need to get straight with our faith, for sure. We all need to work harder on our marriages. We need to lead. We need to protect. We need to provide. We need to make more money. We all know that. This world is not coming back to our level of income. We have to take our level of income and go meet where the world is. There's just no other way around it. These are all things we know we need to do. But when it comes to doing them, when it comes to taking those steps, to making that progress, you tell somebody, hey, we're going to do 75 hard and you're going to jump in every day and you're going to drink a gallon of water and you're going to work out twice a day and it's going to be this and it's going to be that. Gentlemen, I love 75 hard. I think it's great. But when you start talking about that, guys are like, yes, let's do it. I'm all motivated. But you tell somebody, hey, every day I want you to text the people that you love and tell them that you love them. You tell somebody, hey, every day I want you to read 5 pages of something. I don't care what it is, just read 5 pages of something. You tell men, you know what? If you don't know what to read, pick up the Bible and read 5 pages of that and write down, circle the parts that you don't understand and then look them up. You look at people and you talk to men and you say, I just want you to wake up every morning and drink a 10-ounce glass of water before you do anything else. And yet somehow, all of those things I just mentioned, I have literally heard from men. It's too hard. I don't have time. I'm too busy. Gentlemen, when you're too busy to send a text, when you're too busy to read 5 pages, when you're too busy to drink a glass of water, you're lying to yourself. We as men are lying to ourselves when we say, I'm too busy or I don't have time. What we are saying is that doesn't matter. All of the small steps look like that. All of the small steps that you need to take to become a better person, to have a better life, to have a better family relationship, they all start with tiny little steps. All of them. And yet we say, because we're such busy, powerful, strong, smart men, we don't have time for that. Gentlemen, that's the devil's way of convincing you that you don't have time for you. You're telling yourself that you are not worth taking 10 seconds out of your day to drink a glass of water. You're not worth taking 30 seconds out of your day to send a freaking text. And these may seem like really stupid things. You guys might be sitting over there going, I don't know what he's talking about. That's not going to change anything. Really? Reading 5 pages a day every day doesn't change anything? Do I really need to take you guys down this path? Do we really need to investigate the compound effect of the small habits? You guys are all smarter than that. And yet I have men who pay me thousands of dollars who look me in the eye and say, nah, I'm not going to do that. They think that they're too smart for that. They're too busy for that. That's stupid. It's the key. It is the formula. Gentlemen, a lot of you guys on here probably have never tried to bake a cake. Okay. But I will tell you that the example I'm about to give you is just like making any kind of food and putting it in a pan, right? But, when you bake a cake, you put some nonstick spray on the pan and you pour the batter into the pan and you put it in the oven and you cook it, right? Really simple. Now, People who know how to bake a cake and do it really, really well, well, there's a lot that goes into what ingredients go into that. How do they layer that in there? There's actually a technique that I learned from my grandmother about you take the pan for the cake and you lift it up and you drop it evenly, boom, onto the counter. You do that over, pick it up, over and over. And what it does is the air bubbles come up out of the cake and it gives you a much more fine dessert. Yeah. What the hell am I talking about, right? There are 100 different ways to frost a cake. There are 15,000 different things you can put on top of a cake. There's things you can add to the cake batter. There's, chocolate chips and M&Ms and M's and cake batter and, whipped cream and cream cheese and all kinds of fun stuff you can throw in there, right? There's a zillion flavors. And yet, no matter what you do with the cake, if you don't do the simplest, most basic, most ridiculously foolish little meaningless step of spraying the pan first, your cake is destroyed. It's absolutely ruined. It won't come out of the pan. It's going to come apart in pieces. It's going to cook horribly. It's going to burn them, on the bottom. Guys, I'm telling you right now, the simplest steps lay the foundation for all of the other growth. All of it. And yet, when I go over simple steps with people who pay me thousands of dollars, they go, nah, eh, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I'm never going to understand it. I'm never going to understand it. I'm never going to understand why we as men are not willing to do the little things that we know are going to turn into big things. If you wake up every day and you drink that glass of water, you're developing a habit. You're also hydrating your body right out of the gate at the point where it's most dehydrated, which is as soon as you wake up. Guys, simple. You do that every single day. After a while, you start to feel a little bit better. You're hydrated a little bit better. Your skin feels a little bit better. You might have a little easier time losing weight. You might not be as tired. Your face might start to look a little bit better. I mean, we could all use a little bit of that, especially guys who are my age. I mean, come on. If you just do it every day, not only does that help you, but building the habit matters. It matters. Because then when you try to build another habit, like, I don't know, getting up every day and doing 5 push-ups, getting up every day and doing 5 sit-ups until you can do them every day and then you do 6. And when you could do them every day for a few days, then you go to 7 and so on and so forth. It is the compound effect and it's non-negotiable and it is not up for discussion and it is 100% real and it works every single time. We all know it. And yet none of us are willing to do it. The simplest little things. Gentlemen, as long as we as men are turning our nose up at the little things in our lives and then turning around and saying, my life is so bad. My life is so sad. I don't have what I want. I don't have the relationships that I want. My children don't respect me. My wife doesn't trust me. You have no one to blame but you. Now, I'm not going to keep beating this, dead horse, but I am going to, finalize this into one little tiny point here. One of the biggest things I hear from men who are trying to improve, one of the biggest things I hear from a lot of you gentlemen who are listening tonight, who are in our group, and you've said these things to me. When you sign up for the coaching programs, you say these words. I want my wife to want me again. I want my wife to be attracted to me again. I want my children to respect me again. I want to have credibility with my family. When I say I'm going to take care of something, I want them to believe it. I want my family to trust me. In every one of those instances, my response is exactly the same. Have you given them reason to? Usually the answer is no, we haven't. How do you do that? Gentlemen, if you tell your wife every day that you're going to do something to better yourselves, and then every day you change your mind because it's too small, it's not worth it. You're too busy. You know what she sees? She sees, here we go again. She thinks in her mind and in her heart, she says, you know what? I knew he wouldn't do it. He never does. When you tell your children, all right, guys, this is it. We're going to do this, or we're going to change this, or I'm going to lose weight, or I'm going to get better. They all go, I hope you do, Dad, because we love you and we want you to be our leader. And then you don't send the text. You don't drink the glass of water. You don't read the couple pages. And you know who sees that? Those kids. And you know what they think? Here we go again. I knew he wouldn't do it. He never does. Gentlemen, when you take on the small things and you start developing the small habits, like sending an accountability text every day, like drinking a glass of water, like reading 5 pages of the Bible or any other book, but reading, opening up your mind, changing your perspective. If you do any of those little things, and those aren't the only ones, there are hundreds more, but any of those things, if you just do that, do it visibly, make a point of doing it. If you just stick to something, they all see it. Your kids don't need you to like become, the next general of the army in order for them to appreciate you. They want to see you trying. When they see you doing something every single day to make yourself better, they are inspired by you. When's the last time you can honestly say you inspired your children? When your wife sees you getting up every day and doing that thing, doing that one small step that you said you were going to do to become better, she gets excited. When she sees you trying to get better, that makes you more attractive immediately. It shows her that you care about yourself enough to be there for her. When you do these small things, you establish credibility. You build trust. I can't tell you the number of guys that I've had tell me, it pisses me off. It really does. That I'm trying to do something and my wife isn't behind me. Or I'm trying to make myself better and she doesn't really believe I'm going to do anything. My kids, are like, yeah, whatever, Dad, sure. They take offense. They think it's disrespectful. And I'm telling you, it's what you deserve. You deserve to feel that way. We all do. If we can't do the most basic things to show them that we want to be better, then we deserve to be treated like we aren't willing to do those little things to be better. You reap what you sow. So I'm not asking anybody to turn on the Rocky background music and launch into a full montage or hit 75 hard and change your life tomorrow. I'm not looking for you to start a diet where all you eat is celery and carrots and somehow you make it through the day without wanting to punch somebody in the face. I'm not telling you you got to quit your job and go find 15 different levels of income. I'm telling you you need to start somewhere. I'm telling you you need to make a change. You need to do something. You need to be a man and you need to take responsibility for yourself, for your family, for your future. And you absolutely must change your habits. And the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, gentlemen. I have so much faith in every one of you that are in this group, the Power Man Within. I have faith in every one of you who are listening to this podcast, who are not yet in this group. The thousands of you listening to this show right now. I have all the faith in the world in you, but I can't do it for you. You have to decide. And gentlemen, there is no tomorrow anymore. This red light is significant. It's condition critical. We've put it off so long. We've let the devil win for so long. If you're not going to stand up and take a step to help yourself, then who will? If you're not going to stand up and take a step to help your family, then who will? It's up to us. The good news is that it's all up to us. The bad news is it's all up to us. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to do it for you. You got to step up. And at some point, gentlemen, you have to decide. You have to decide that you matter. You have to decide that you have value. You have to decide that you're worth it. And at some point, you have to believe it. For you podcast listeners, this is the end of your transmission. I love you all, and I'm here when you need me. Until next time.